Alright guys, welcome back to Task Force Off-Road. My name's George. We got Nectal behind the camera and he's giving me a hand installing the fenders today. They're JCR's Crusader fenders and they're getting installed in the Jeep finally. So this is the last step in the rebuild series. I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright guys, step one, to remove our factory fender, we have two 8mm bolts, two 10mm bolts. That's reversed. This is 8, this is 10. The 8 should be up here, the 10s are going to be up top around this area. And then we have some plastic push pins all around here. There's 4 of them that need to come off for us to take this fender off. We're not going to mess with the inner fender liner, removing that from the fender. We're just going to pull it all off in one and make our life a lot easier. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so this is another 10mm bolt we have to remove right up almost directly under your daytime running light. Alright, with all that removed guys, we can just remove the fender now. So it's still secured on with a bunch of push tabs. So what you want to do is grab it and yank, and you move from front to back is what I would find the easiest way, and just very violent yanks, like, oh damn. Try the back first. There we go.
There we go.
You're gonna break some of these clips, it's not a big deal. Alright guys, I missed a bolt. There's actually an access hole here. So you don't need to remove the liner from the fender, which a lot of people say you need to, but you don't. I'll show you the access hole once it's off and where it is in the fender, on the inner fender liner. But it's another 10mm bolt. Okay, now, alright guys, now see, you're gonna have a wiring harness here for all your lights. There's a red tab under it. Pull the red tab toward you. Okay, you can use a little flathead screwdriver to pull that red tab. If it's stuck like mine is, because there's dirt. So once that red tab is pulled, you just push down by it, pull out, and that releases your electrical connector. Now we can just remove our fender. We don't need this anymore. However, we are going to need to take the electrical harness out of there because we're going to be reusing a lot of the wiring to wire in our new lights. If any of these white clips survive, just get a panel popper tool and just pry that guy right out. Easy day. So after you move the fender, we have this little portion that's left there, this little plastic piece, and it's got 2 little plastic retainer clips, but you should be able to just pull forward and push it out. Easy. And then do the same on the other side. Okay, so next what you want to do is start removing your wiring harness from your fender. You're going to want to use a panel popper tool to do that. I'm starting to think I should go get one of my better ones because it's a pain. However, this should work. Okay, so once you get it to here, we can go ahead and then just cut the wire. I'm just going to cut it over here so we have the most possible wire to work with. Okay, so now we're going to start installing lights to brackets. So we have these bolts. They're 1 inch long, or probably about 1.5 inch, 8/32, and they use a size tiny Allen. So we're gonna get these guys screwed in. Just make sure when you put this on the bracket, you put the wiring through the hole in the back. Other than that, guys, it's fairly self-explanatory. You're installing a light to a bracket. All right, guys. So JCR has changed their blinker bracket since they first made their video, so it's convenient that I'm making this. So this is what the new bracket looks like. It doesn't have a bend and they're no longer directional, doesn't seem. So first, the grommet comes pre-installed on your 3/4 inch round LED light. So we're gonna take the grommet off the light, which I just did, and then we're gonna install the grommet onto the bracket. It's just gonna be a lot easier this way, guys, I'm telling you. I tried to put it in the other way first, and it did not work very well. So once we get the grommet installed onto the bracket, we can then go and we can take our light and put our light through the grommet, and then make sure we seat the light all the way into the grommet. Now this is kind of a pain in the butt, but you can get it. It just takes a little bit of finesse and a little bit of finagling, and that's all. And I made sure that it looks vertical like that on both my LEDs. That way it's a uniform appearance. I don't know if it matters or not. It probably doesn't because it's just a blinking directional. However, I like to think it does. And that's the way it should look once it's all said and done, nice and flush to the grommet. All right, guys, so I'd left this part off camera because no one likes wiring and no one likes watching wiring. So JCR's video is done with the sport model, so my wiring was completely different because I have the Rubicon with the LED package. So I'm gonna tell you guys what wires went to what for the LED packaged vehicles. Now, this should be noted, I still have a hyper flash on the dash, and it says turn signal out. Okay, so for the turn signal, this 3/4 inch, we have a red, a black, and a white. The white is the ground, okay? Okay, so the white goes to the black. So I put the two blacks together from this, and then I put the two grounds, the black and the white, from these two together. So this harness on the vehicle had two grounds, these two have two grounds, so those all go together nice and simple. The black on the turn signal, I put yellow brown, and white yellow to the black wire on the turn signal. And then I put red to white green on the turn signal. So that was, again, red to white green and black to yellow brown, and white yellow for the turn signal, and that allows it to A, function as a blinker, and B, function as a running light and a blinker. So when your lights are on, this will turn on as well. It just won't be a daytime running light. So when we get to the daytime running light, this one was much simpler, where we just had black to ground, and then we had red to white brown, and that makes this act as a daytime running light. So really easy there, guys. Worked out very well. It was a pain in the butt for us to figure out, so I'm gonna clean all of this wiring up, and then I'm gonna be good to go. All right, I'm gonna turn them on. Just play it over. Good?
Yeah.
All right, and.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, so next we're gonna take some of these nut clips and we're gonna put them on these fender support brackets. They just push on. They're nice and tight. But they'll clip into place, just like so. The other one, Nectar? Same thing on this side. Alright guys, so when installing these lights, I found it easier to start with this bolt here and then just use a finger to hold the nut in the hole and then thread one through. It's a really, really tight space and it's a really large pain in the rear end. So right now I moved that. I did it again. No, I didn't. That's good. Okay. This is one of those good old-fashioned small space, 6-hand jobs. I ain't doing crap.
Getting there, huh?
I'm getting nowhere fast, if that's what you mean. And then as you're doing this and tighten them up, make sure you have the light lined up where you want to. Nice and even in there. And then do the same thing with this light, and again, it's pain in the butt. But first, get rid of this wiring, get it out of the way, and tuck it behind the fender. We want it up in these rungs. And again, just line it up where you want it to be at that point. Once you have it all lined up, go ahead and tighten her down. All right, so after we have these guys in, okay, so after we take out this top Christmas tree bracket and this Christmas tree bracket, we're gonna drill out this hole to a 5/16. And the only way you're really gonna do this is from inside the cab, or the firewall area. And just take it nice and slow, don't need to rip anything. Okay, and we just drilled out this hole here to a slightly larger diameter. Okay. Now with that hole drilled, we can go and put this bracket into place. And it's gonna go in between the two portions of the fender. Take our hardware that JCR supplied us with these button head bolts. I color matched mine with some Mopar touch-up paint. And we're just gonna start these bolts. With those started, we're gonna confirm that we can put a bolt through here. And we're good there. And now we're gonna drill out this hole. So we're gonna take our drill bit with our 5/16 drill, and we're just gonna start drilling out this hole. Once it starts feeling like it's gonna go through, hit it in reverse, and it'll stop the tearing of the sheet metal. Okay, and then just confirm you can fit a bolt through. Just like we did with this one. All right, after we confirm we can fit a bolt through. Okay, so after you guys drill this out, I strongly recommend you take this bracket out and paint it so it doesn't rust, and then put these two bolts back in, put this bolt back in, make sure everything's lined up, and now start these two bolts with the nuts that they provided us. Flange nuts, that's the word I was looking for. They're flange nuts. Flange nuts started of these two bolts, and then take out these guys and put our fender on. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our fender on. All right, so next we're gonna connect the wiring harness to our fender. It's gonna be a lot easier if you have someone to help you hold stuff. Now we're gonna get these two bolts started. Okay, so now we can go ahead and install all the rest of these bolts and flange nuts. We can just do them one at a time and then tighten them all up at the end. So we're gonna do that and super speed it real fast. Alright guys, the purpose of loosely installing this bracket was to get these bottom holes here lined up so we can use them as a template to drill out our cross member here. So as you can see, I drilled a pilot hole here with the drill bit we were using over there, and then I drilled this guy out to a 1/2 inch. Now I need a 17/32 drill bit to drill that out enough for the nut certs. No hardware store has that. Harbor Freight might, but it was too late to go to Harbor Freight. So I ordered it on Amazon. It'll be here today. Definitely get that before you start this install. Otherwise, you're going to be up shit's creek without a paddle. So I'm going to drill this out to 1/2 inch. That way that's all squared away. And when the 17/32 gets here today, it's going to be much less work to drill that guy out. So I'm just going to do that right now. I already had the other side drilled out, and everything is mirrored on the opposite side, guys. So it's super easy. I'm going to get to drilling. Alright guys, so now we're going to drill out that hole to a 17/32 drill bit, and that should be big enough to fit our nutsert in. Order this on Amazon before you decide to install these, that way you don't have to wait, because this is not a drill bit that's carried at normal hardware stores. Alright guys, so they send you out a riv nut tool like this. I don't like using these, it's sketchy and you have to give really precise torque. Go on Amazon, buy the Astro 1442. It's like 60 bucks, and it makes your life 1,000 times easier when installing nutserts. First thing you want to do is take some RTV and put it around the nutsert itself, and this is just going to prevent any rust from forming where you just drilled. I also suggest giving a little bit of paint there too, because you can never be too careful with frickin' rust. And just thread this bad Larry on. Alright, so then we just put her in the hole. Alright guys, I'm gonna be honest, this is a huge pain in the ass because of the tire. Take the tire off, it's gonna be a lot easier. So my cousin Nick over here is gonna assist me by giving me upward pressure as I crush this. You're good. You just unscrew her. And you're good to go. Go do the other 4. Alright guys, so your next step is going to be to reinstall that bracket. Get the top bolts loosely installed, and we're going to loosely install 2 bolts into the nutserts we just put in and get everything lined up. Get everything started nice and slowly. Front. And slowly tighten her all up. Alright guys, your last step is going to be to tie in these brackets into these supports here. This is the side the Jeep was in the accident on, so this is going to be nice and fun. But the other side went swimmingly for me, so I'm fully confident that it's not going to be that big of a deal for you guys. I'm just going to have a fun time fighting this thing. Now up here, the easiest way to get this flange nut in is going to be to hold it with a 1/2 inch wrench. Yep, there we go. Alright, now I'm going to need a holder. And then one more right here. Alright guys, that last bolt completed the installation, so I'm just going to do a quick walk around and show you guys what it looks like. 'Cause I realized after editing this video, this is future me, I totally never showed you what it looked like. So here it is on the Jeep.
But it's too late
Fantastic.
now. I remember you and me, and how careless
That
we
color match is
Yeah.
on point.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right. We were so young, we were so dumb, we would get
Alright guys, I just drove around for probably about an hour trying to find a place to get a thumbnail picture and could not find one. So that's it for today's video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one, and that's gonna be your thumbnail picture. Yeah. See you later.
Play your guitar, you'd show me your art. Let down our guards, think with our hearts. Stare at the stars, we were never apart. Drinking too young, way too much fun. Out in the sun, or pain when it's gone. Took you to prom, danced our song. Dance all night